Welcome to New Friends Cinema,
where we get to know each other by sharing our favorite movies.
From childhood throwbacks to recent comforts, we walk through the stories together.
Keep in mind this podcast contains mad spoilers, and join us at the
New Friends Cinema. Welcome to the very first episode of New Friends Cinema.
Hello, welcome.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Courtney. And we thought, before we got into the actual podcast of it all, we thought we would give a little sneak peek intro as to why we decided to do this, who we are, and how we met, because we met relatively recently.
And what the hell we're doing here.
Exactly.
I don't know. Surely.
No, and it's unfolding. We are living and breathing in the moment here.
Yeah.
And I'm very
making really intense eye contact.
Yes. in a very small room.
Yeah.
We are very excited because when we met, and I say recently, like we're approaching...
It's almost our anniversary. It's almost our 1 year anniversary. I mean, in like 3 months.
Yeah. January 17th. Is that weird? I know that because...
It's romantic.
It was our first D&D night.
So, first of all, I think that we should just say this podcast is called New Friends Cinema. And the concept of this is that Courtney and I, when we met, we're going to get into that, but we just clicked so hard. And we thought, wouldn't it be fun to get to know each other on the air and via media?
Mm-hmm.
Through the movies that have meant the most to us through different times in our life for various reasons, how we met.
So first and foremost, we have a shared friend, and this friend, shall we reveal her name? I don't know if we have permission to reveal her name.
I think she'd be fine with it, but maybe we'll just wait.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll come up again later.
Of course.
Yeah. So this person and I go back probably about 6 years, almost to the day that we met, but we worked together for a long time, and she was actually I was going to say best lady, my maid of honor at my wedding, even though there was like 5 of us in my kitchen.
I did not know that.
She was my witness. So,
Aww.
Yeah. But yeah, we've known each other for a long time, and I hadn't seen her for like almost a year, which is really sad because we live 2 blocks away from each other. But she invited me over for New Year's Eve, and I wasn't going to go, and then last minute I decided to go, and it was just her and her friend, her other friend, and that friend's husband. And we just kind of sat around, and they played games, and I made a vision board, and we were chatting all night, and this other friend really liked my vibe and was like, hey, we're starting like an all women's D&D group. Do you think you would want to come? Oh, mystery friend. I almost said her name.
Friend. We will censor this later.
Do you want to, do you think she would want to come? And so anyway, I got invited, added to the email list. So it was very like by chance that I was like the last one
to join.
Yeah. And how did you like join?
So I met this shared friend purely by, this sounds creepy, but she owns a store in town, and I would frequent this store a fair amount because I love books. It's a bookstore. Damn it, I can't keep that out of it because it's a true essence of how and reason why I was in that store all the time. Anyways, I did that classic, like, I'm new to town, I don't know anyone, I am trying to put myself out there and make friends, but it's super hard in your early mid-30s because it's like, how do that? What does that entail? So after chatting with this lovely person, every time I went into the store, I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot. And I asked for her number and to go out for like a drink or a tea or like a little get together that wasn't in her place of work. And it was obviously like, you don't have to say yes. I don't want to pressure you into being my friend, but she was immediate. She's like, absolutely, let's hang out. And it was history from there. But it was slowly revealed that our friend is quite connected in the community to a lot of women who have been dying to get into D&D for a really long time, but
D&D,
never
Dungeons and Dragons.
Thank you. For folks who don't know.
Yeah,
of course.
we're speaking the lingo because
we're seasoned veterans now.
I'm wearing D20 socks right
I noticed
now.
that, and I was like, that's the best thing in the
Prob
world.
got them for me for my birthday. They say you can certainly try on the bottom.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Anyway.
So this person, our shared friend, pulled us all together.
And there were 7 of us at the beginning. Yeah. So
and
it was
we
pretty
all kind of got together on this email chain, and it was nerve-wracking, I must admit, because I was just so excited to play, and making friends obviously is a challenge in adulthood, and I was like, please let this work, not only for friendship, but I also just was very selfishly excited to play the game.
And I will say, for me, it was the opposite. Like, I didn't, I had never had an interest in playing D&D. I knew it existed. I had never been exposed to it. I didn't really care about that aspect at all. What I was looking for was just more female friendships, right? Like, just to have like potentially a group of friends, that I meet with. So that was really the element that I came into it hoping for. And the game side of it was kind of an afterthought for me.
A bonus.
Yeah. Which is something I've turned out to really enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Dakota and I happened to sit next to each
I
other.
was the last person to come in. It was the only chair left.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I looked at you.
Yeah.
You looked at me.
Yeah, and I sat next to you there on the end. When I walked in the first time, I was like, oh, I am in the hive of the nerds.
Yeah.
Like, this is the
You're
den.
deep.
This is where, yeah. So we sat next to each other. And so the first time we met up, it was just to talk about the world we were going to be playing, have a look at the different kinds of characters you could be, and to just workshop what our characters were going to be, and have the help of the DM and people that had played before to get all our stats together to understand kind of what we were doing. So that was the first night. So I had looked ahead of time at all the different kinds, and I really liked the idea of being a large character, like what do you call it? A tank, right? So there was ogre or troll that I was looking at, and I liked the idea of doing that and having a small character be kind of like a partner, or like working closely in that kind of way. Because I just think that dynamic is really fun. Yeah. So I had my ears up, and I was trying to listen around to see like what people were leaning towards,
that person,
and just see, right? Like, I wasn't expecting that someone was, because it's also like, it's your first character and we're doing that. Like, do you really want to link your own storytelling so closely to somebody else? It is a group game, but it's independent as well.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. You're coming to the table with your own character, your own backstory. And funny enough, I was coming to the table as a goblin, like a very small, chaotic, little whippersnapper, if you will. And we had this moment where I was actually looking for, it was so funny. Like, I wasn't looking for it, but as it was unfolding and I found out you were going to be an ogre and I was a goblin, and it went off from there, and it was
intense.
I blinked, and all of a sudden we had an entire backstory.
We met up within that same week.
Yeah.
And with my computer.
Yeah, you came over.
And we were just
yeah.
Like, we were just,
it was a creative storm of, blending what we were already planning on having for our characters, but blending them together.
My story coming together with your story, how we met. Like, we built a whole world.
Yeah.
In very short time.
Yeah.
It was...
Could not sleep, so excited.
We were I was like texting you like, is it weird that I'm like, I cannot sleep. I'm just like, so
excited.
And that just the giving yourself that permission to just like think that way and be so creative, and that creative chemistry just like, it just clicked so fast.
Fast. And immediately I was like, I don't want to A, play this game without you, and B, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
It was one of those moments.
Yeah, it was. And in the beginning too, like we were trying to hide our relationship a little bit from the rest of the ladies, like in a bit because we just clicked so hard so fast, and we really understood our characters immediately, and that's not necessarily was it the same experience for everybody.
And, learning how to navigate that while learning how to play the game, while like just meeting each other and everyone else at the table, it was a whirlwind, and it was so delightful because we all sat around the table and immediately like named the fact that none of us had felt comfortable or safe or wanted or invited in some of these places before because of, some of the inherent misogyny that exists in a lot of nerd culture. And we felt like we created this container as a group, and everybody kind of approached this in their own way with their own characters. And I feel like now we're almost a year in, and I'm just so delighted to see everyone feel free and comfortable in their characters, but also within themselves at the table, just to have fun and be free.
The growth has been wild.
Yeah.
And it was really important for us, kind of, I would say it was about a month in or so that we were really like, hey, let's acknowledge that we're all trying to give each other too much space.
Yes.
Like we're all so hyper aware of how much space we're taking up, how much we're talking, trying to make sure everyone feels like it's fair and blah, blah, that it's taking away from the gameplay and from the natural like rhythm, and being able to just kind of as a group recognize that and be like, no, this is our space.
Yeah.
And when it's your time and when you feel that wave coming on, like, you're a star, take it. Everybody's here to support you. Nobody's like, and I think that really helped us find balance as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and this is not a D&D podcast.
No, yeah, oh my god.
But
20 minutes later, that's how we met. Yeah, and that's how our friendship really started, and we started hanging out a bit more aside from that, not just to work on our characters and stuff as people do. And it was funny, it was really early on that Courtney said to me, if I were to ever start a podcast, if I were to ever start help. If I were ever, I can't. You say it.
If we were ever to start a podcast, like, what would it be about? No, that's not it.
Yeah, that is. No,
okay.
No, that's not what it were.
Oh.
I help. No, you said if I were to ever start a podcast with anyone, it would be with you.
Yeah.
That's what you said. I don't know what just happened to me. I just like
you had a moment.
Yeah. But yeah, you said that, and I was kind of like, I love that. Like, same.
Yeah.
And then we kind of left it for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
That we came back around to it and we're like, hey,
let's just see what happens and commit to it.
If we start to just talk about it more and think about it more creatively, or like, what would it look like? And,
because I remember the classic getting to know you friend texts at the beginning of our relationship was just like, what were the movies that defined your childhood? Or
the classic, like, casual.
The classic. Well, you and I went in hard, right?
So, yeah. There was nothing casual about it.
There was very little small talk at the beginning.
It was
intense.
I was
like, tell me your life story now.
I think one of the first times we hung out, we sat on my couch, drank 2 bottles of wine, and cried in each other's arms.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
That was great.
Yeah. But, like, when you ask those questions of a new friend, hey, what were the movies that you consumed as a kid? Or what were you absolutely fascinated and obsessed with?
Or if someone were holding a gun to your head, what were the top 5 movies ever?
Yeah.
Right.
And I love getting to know people through that avenue, because, movies in our childhood were a very different experience in the way that movies are available now. And I think it was this staple of hanging out with friends or family and getting together and collectively watching something and experiencing that in your home.
Yeah, well, when I was a child and I would go visit my dad in the summer, my brother and sister, my stepmom there, we would, not every Friday, but a couple times a summer for sure, we would go to the Blockbuster, the Rogers Video, and each of us would get to pick one movie that was our pick, And then as a group, we would pick probably 3 or 4 more. And we would rent between like 8 and 10 movies.
Dang.
We would go home and we would put them in a garbage bag.
I remember you telling me the story. I was like,
Yeah, and then we would pick the movies and watch them that way. And my dad still talks about this, that whenever there was a movie I really wanted to watch, mine would always get picked first.
That garbage bag energy.
Yeah. I just wanted it enough. And then, so anyway, and that's how, and it was just family movie night, right? And then we would, make pizza or a big thing of like red sauce or whatever. And we would just watch movies for like 36 hours straight, basically. People would fall asleep, wake up, and just kind of do that. Sometimes we'd watch one we all really liked twice or that kind of thing. And that was we would just make a big bed in the living room. And that was like a big bonding thing for my family.
Cozy tradition.
Yeah. And a big part of that was that getting to go and pick. And I think everybody that was, alive at that time can relate to that.
Oh, it was a very exciting experience. Yeah. And it was kind of the luck of the draw because you're renting, which means you never know if the movie you want is going to be there or it's already rented. And a little bit of the tradition in my family was every weekend it would be movie night and we would go down and rent a couple. But it would be more along the lines of how many times can I watch this movie within the rental period before we have to return it? And it would be upsetting how many times my sister and I would rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. But movies were just one of those things that we did as a family. And I think that's why I was so curious about what movies were in your like top 5 or top 10, because it is media, but it is also what stands out for you as meaningful in that time when it was so selective, when we had to be very specific about what we wanted to consume. And and that's why we really came up with this idea of sharing those movies with each other and talking about them in a public format.
And it's kind of blossomed as well, not just from the childhood aspect of that, but it could be something more recent that really stuck with you or that you really enjoyed. So we're kind of opening the umbrella on that as to, as we go, it's whatever the heck we want.
It's our podcast.
Yeah. So we make the rules around here and we get to change them.
Whenever.
Yeah.
Like right now. Goodbye.
Bye. So that's really like, that's what we're doing here, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything else that you want to say about that?
Other than the fact,
I feel like you did a really good job just there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're killing it.
I am. Yeah, thank you. This idea of like, Dils and I were just talking about how we have been saving these movies for this podcast.
That I wanted to talk about too. Yeah.
And we have not been able to watch these favorite movies because we want to keep it fresh.
I've cheated a couple times.
You have?
Yeah.
I'm a little sad and disappointed because I've been so rigid about saving them. So chaste.
I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, there's some on there though that I've seen a million times, and they're it's like new every time I see it.
Beautiful.
So,
I'll allow it.
I actually only cheated once, and I'm not going to say which one it was until it comes up.
Okay, deal.
But yeah, that's been, and also not just being not able to watch it, but not being able to talk about it at all. There have been so many conversations where we're talking and one of us will like say a quote from something and we just make this like really intense eye contact.
No more.
And we're like, cut it off. It's over. Save it. I'm very excited.
We got our shit together. We're here. We're doing it. And yeah, I think each episode would be a new movie that we are watching together separately to then discuss.
Yes. Yeah. That's another aspect about it. I don't know if it's important for us to say, but we won't be watching any of these movies together.
No.
We will be doing homework.
Yep. Add it to the list of things.
And then talking about them together so that we have our own
experience.
And we get to see what our perspectives are on it. So that's
exactly. And we're allowed to not like the movie that the other person suggests. I think that's very open and fair. Because
except I will fight you. No, I'm just kidding.
We will have a heated debate and take it personally when it does not go well. But each episode, new movie, one person is the guide because we have sticky notes in 2 different hats that we will be pulling a movie out.
That is correct. We are doing this. Yes, I have a coin here. This is a very special coin that I got for my birthday. Weighs about 10 pounds. It is a special
edition?
I guess. It's a coin with images from the movie Labyrinth.
Straight up, it looks like a chocolate coin.
I
want
chewed
to
on
eat
it.
it.
It is not.
Boo.
Yeah, so one side has some characters from Labyrinth. The other side says, "Should you need us?" And there's a little quote on here, and it says, "Well, if that is the way it is done, then that is the way you must do it. But should you need us?" So we've got the coin here. I got it from my friend.
Okay.
I actually was practicing.
You were?
I was practicing flipping it a couple weeks ago. I was sitting at the kitchen table flipping it, and I was being really, I was showing off. I was flipping it really high, doing it, with the thumb, catching it, and then slapping it onto my hand, right?
She's prepared.
And Prob was watching me, and he was like, "Wow, that's really cool. Like, can you show me how to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can teach you." And I go to do it, I put it, and I flipped it so high, and it went so far, it landed perfectly in my wine glass. It was intense. But he was
Magic.
like, "Wow, you're such a great teacher."
Thank you.
And yes, I did dig my fingers around in there, and yes, I did still drink the wine.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, so I haven't practiced since then, so we will try.
There are currently no wine glasses in the vicinity.
No. And then whoever wins this flip of the coin
Yep.
will be drawing from their hat.
Oh my god, I have to pee. I'm so excited.
Do you want to go now?
No. That's just the level of excitement that I have right now, is that I'm already noticing, like, oh, here we
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I'm clenched for sure.
It's part of the process.
And then I know I have butterflies.
Okay.
And then that will be the first movie that we watch. So if I'm flipping, you get to call,
Okay.
and I have to back up so that I can do this.
Okay.
Right into a wall.
Yep.
So there's, creatures
Mm-hmm.
or text,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try to do this.
And so I'm going to call it in the air. You're going to slap it on your hand.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me if I get to pick or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Ready?
Yes.
We might have to do this a couple times. I'm just saying.
Okay.
'Kay.
We can do it.
Creatures.
Oh.
Well, just leave it. Oh. Should I do it again?
Yes.
Okay, that was too. I was too excited. That was too.
It went into another stratosphere.
Yeah, it's currently in another dimension.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try it again.
I'm going to go creatures again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I need to chill the fuck out. Okay. It's text.
Oh, that means you get to pick from your hat.
Okay.
I'm going to hold the hat and you pick.
Okay.
Okay. This is the excitement. Da da da.
Oh my gosh. And the Libra in me, like, my hands are so sweaty. They all feel the same.
That's
This
great.
one's sticking my hand.
Okay, and I can't look because wait, I will know.
No, you can look. They can't look.
No.
We're not going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
I think it's a good one.
Okay, let's see.
You ready?
Yeah. You have no idea. We were about to watch that last night.
Are you serious?
And we didn't.
Oh my god, it
It's
was fate. It's fate. Are we high-fiving?
Yeah, we're high-fiving.
So my hand is so,
god, she
so
is sweaty.
My hand is soaking
A
wet.
damn
I'm
near
so sorry.
slipped off her hand. I am so pumped. I can't believe that wasn't on my list.
That's not on your list?
No.
I thought for sure that it was going to be on your list.
It's so weird because that literally was last night. Ty and I were like, let's save it.
I am breaking out in hives right now. Like, I'm so...
Well,
I think it's a good one for the first one, right?
it's going to be delightful.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Also, I almost watched it a few times lately, too.
Okay. So, I guess this is us signing off.
Yeah.
And the next time, hopefully, you'll listen to us deconstructing, commenting, exploring, discussing our movie that we just picked out on New Friend Cinema.
Yes. Very well said.
Thank
I
you.
am really looking forward to it. I think you're all going to love it.
Please listen, but no pressure.
I mean, Presh.
Little pressure.
Please listen, but also now it's needy. Now the sun is
Now it's
blinding
needy.
you. Yeah, I think that's great. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon on New Friend Cinema.